Fratton Park on what's a pretty damp and very blustery day today. It's going to be pretty blustery on the pitch, I should think, too, because Pompey's opponents are Middlesbrough, up near the top of Division 2, about 4th, I think, this week, and playing very well, putting a lot of goals away. Well, one of my friends down south here was originally born and bred in Middlesbrough, and he knows where his loyalties lie on this particular match. It's Jeff Hill. And how long have you been down south?
Oh, about 20 years now, John.
Yeah, but you still support the borough?
Still a strong Middlesbrough supporter, yeah. Yeah.
They're doing very well this season. I mean, it's good hard stuff up front, isn't it?
Very well they're doing. Very well away from home as well, so I think you've got to fancy the borough today.
Well, last year we beat you here in this
last year,
game.
I think, if I remember rightly, Portsmouth got 3 lucky goals last year. And we got beat 3-1, but I think it'll be a bit different this year.
Jeff, thanks very much. Enjoy the match.
Yeah, thanks.
And as you can hear, I guess with our particular opposing views, it's going to be a bit blustery on the camera platform too. While the home side come onto the pitch to the applause of the crowd, the team, Andy Gosney in goal, keeps his place. Sean Gale, new in at 2. One of the younger members of the club. John Beresford at 3, Martin Poole at 4, Guy Butters, he's playing excellently at 5, Andy Orford, another very successful young player at Pompey, coming into the side at 6, Steve Wigley 7, Gary Stevens 8, Colin Clark 9, Kenny Black at 10, Guy Whittingham up front at 11, and on the subs bench it's Mark Chamberlain and Sean Murray. Gavin Maguire not in the side this afternoon, and neither is Warren Aspinall. 2 strong men. Pompey will have to make up for that loss on this occasion. Well, the opponents coming south are Middlesbrough. In goal, Steve Pears. At 2, Colin Cooper. 3, Jimmy Phillips. 4, Tony Mowbray. Alan Kernigan is at 5. John Walk is at 6. And the man to watch, who did a lot of damage just along the coast at Brighton a couple of weeks ago, Bernie Slaven. He scored 3 there, I think. He's at 7. Robbie Mustoe, another very strong man at front, is at 8. Ian Baird 9. Paul Kerr 10. And John Hendry 11. On the bench, Stuart Ripley and Mark. Well, Baird, Kerr, Mustoe, Slaven, all capable of banging them in. Bernie Slaven in particular can seem to get through the defence and run on goal and get himself in a good one-on-one situation, and can do a lot of damage when he's in that situation. So Pompey will have to watch it this afternoon, I think, but they'll be fighting hard, looking for a result. And the Pompey mascot now joining Gary Stevens and the officials, and Middlesbrough's captain in the centre circle. The young mascot there, standing for his photograph, is Simon Walder. He's 8 years old. He's at the Central Church of England Junior School in Chichester. Favourite players, Guy Whittingham, Alan Knight and Gavin Maguire. He's got one of his favourites on the pitch today, but I'm sure they'll make the day for him, and the teams will change ends to kick off. Well, Pompey to kick this one off. And John Beresford putting the ball forward. Clark laying it off. Whittingham trying to make his mark, but pushed off, and the ball goes back to Steve Pears. Now Clark comes in as Colin Cooper skids on the pitch and misses that. Little touch forward from Colin Clark there for Whittingham to come in, but the flag up on the far side. Free kick to the Borough. Heads up, and I think Ian Baird really got the better of that, but the net result is that the ball is back to Gosney. Andy Orford laying it off to the right, and the pass goes forward to Whittingham. Whittingham out to Wigley. Wigley keeping possession on the far side. 3 red shirts around him, and finally a fourth comes in and returns the ball. The ball goes forward, and Gosney starts everything all over again. Now long ball forward, too long for Guy Whittingham to catch up, and Tony Mowbray not panicked in any way by Guy Whittingham's footsteps behind him, and clobbers that back to his keeper. Sean Gale getting things clear up to the halfway line. Colin Clark now. Well, I think you can see now that the ground is very slippery because of the rain, and Guy Whittingham breaks free. Can he get through? He gets the turn in, and Steve Pears is out and at it before he can get a second chance, but he whipped through there trying to get it before Pears got his hand to it. And some vocal encouragement from the Middlesbrough fans to my right. Tony Mowbray a bit slow on that occasion, getting up to Guy Whittingham. Now Beresford puts the ball into touch. Middlesbrough throw taken by Cooper. And possession gained by Portsmouth. Kenny Black lobbing the ball forward, and Martin Cool running forward at quite a great pace and forcing Alan Kernaghan again to turn back to his keeper. Well, that's a very high drop kick, 3/4 of the length of the pitch. Cooper, and that Beresford, and Kenny Black getting in there, but allowing a bit of a free run on the left. Jimmy Phillips. Oh, wow. Jimmy Phillips cannoned that one in from the far side of the pitch over almost a third of the length of the pitch, and Gosney's hands slipped. He grabbed it second time, but it looked so much that he was going to carry that over the line. If he'd let it go, it certainly would have rolled over the line, that's for sure, and one in the bag that would have been. So Wigley now down the left, a good cross in to the far side. No one able to get to that. And a good bit of cleaning up done by John Hendry. Hendry now down the right-hand touchline, cross to the centre. And the ball falls back for Ian Baird. There's a clobber at it. And Portsmouth having to do the chasing on that occasion. One thing you can bank on, if this Borough side decides that it's going to break out, it breaks out with great speed. Now, Whittingham. Cross to the far side to Colin Clark. Colin Clark back to Steve Wigley. Can he keep it in? Out for a throw. Wigley now gets the cross in, but it's not going to go far enough. Cut out well. Push forward again though, and Whittingham tries to get the turn. Mowbray this time covering Whittingham very well and prevents him doing anything dangerous with it. I'm sure that's not what they mean by end-to-end football, but the effect was the same. Good ball from John Hendry. Picked up by Baird, but a lot of slipping and sliding going on. Martin Cool for Pompey now, outside to Kenny Black. Kenny Black, it's a long cross in, looking for someone to come in on that corner post, but it lands in the safe hands of Steve Pears. Pompey getting a free kick out of that. John Beresford. One forward, looking for the target. Headed away, and again the break is on for the Borough. John Hendry keeping the ball in. And a good pass back, very dangerously done. A good pass back to Cooper. Cooper lobbing the ball over, and Pompey conceding the corner. Any two heads could have got to that one feels. So corner to Middlesbrough. In comes the ball in the near post, and Gosney's hands perfectly safe on that occasion. I don't think he'll want to let one slip again, but badly bowled out, and John Walker able to head that back towards Gosney's goal. And again John Hendry in the action over the far side. Got a choice, wins the corner. Wins a goal kick, I'm sorry, it's a goal kick. I thought it cannoned off of a Pompey player. I think he was certainly looking for the corner. Now, Gosney have put this one fairly high upfield, I should think. Clark looking to get to it, not getting to it. And a little bit of hesitation in the middle, Pompey getting it back to Gosney. Now Butters. Good long ball forward, too long though for Guy Whittingham. Steve Wigley's in the action though. Lays the ball across for Martin Cool. Now Martin Cool, back left. John Beresford was denied that. So Butters starts the action again, and this time the referee gets in the action. Not quite sure who that was aimed for, but it certainly didn't get there wherever it was. Now Martin Cool, can he clear this up? Gets it back to Stevens. Stevens to Orford. And now Whittingham gets the turn on it. No foul, says the referee. Fair tackle. The referee, Mr. Bodenham, incidentally, of East Lou, getting in the action just a minute ago. His linesman, Mr. Schneider, and Mr. J.D. Smythe. On one forward, and Beresford putting it back again into the centre circle. Clark starting to run through. Whittingham's there, but not going to get a chance of a kick at the ball on this occasion. Martin Cool, can he keep possession and do something? Passes it back to Sean Gale. Sean Gale up the right hand side, but there's no one able to do much with it. Phillips forward again to bed. Clark now, good little layoff for Guy Whittingham. He can gallop forward, there's three red shirts in front of him. He's got the help of John Beresford, and Kenny Black's gone down the left. Well, Beresford wasting that one, I think, and giving the crowd at the Fratton end their first touch of the ball. Danger as Middlesbrough again managed to get a ball through on the right side, and Slaven across the middle, got Musto there. Slaven goes in a forward position, waits for the ball to come back, but a corner is the result of that. I think Bernie Slaven was trying to get the ball back to him from Robbie Musto. The idea was to have a little 1-2 through the middle. Didn't quite come off, but a corner. Far post. And Gosney's hands are up and retrieved that one too. So both corners intact so far. Clark keeping possession well. Covered by Black so that Cool can get the ball. Beresford now takes a kick of the ball and loses his footing. Very muddy conditions. Everyone losing their footing. Kenny Black and Ian Baird, both of them. So Colin Cooper with this throw. Gets the return, able to feed the ball through, and Hendry, adjudged to have been tripped down by Kenny Black. He shakes hands with him. So, good free kick in very quickly, head and over the bar. Worthwhile try, taken very quickly. I think if it had been on target, Gosney would have been there. Ball holding up in the air and skidding about like a bar of soap when it gets on the ground. Good little sideways ball. Slaven now on the halfway line. Not able to turn it. Musto. Shouts for hands don't impress this referee. That might impress the referee. Strange sliding tackle from Pompey's captain today, Gary Stevens. So the free kick then taken by Alan Cunningham. Will it be? Yes. Good long ball forward that was by Tony Mowbray. And covering again by Kernaghan back to his keeper. Beresford now. Kept in by Whittingham. Beresford to Clark. Clark being held off by Tony Mowbray. Now Slaven on the edge of the centre circle. Switches play across to the left-hand side. A bit of a dicey deflection. Finally chipped back well by Kenny Black to his keeper. Averts any further danger. Men all over the pitch there and plenty of space, and a long shot was on really from anywhere. 16 minutes gone in this one, still 0-0, but a couple of heart-stopping moments. Could have another one here, but no, the flag are up and the referee plays on as Steve Wigley goes down. Acknowledges the linesman putting the flag up, but decides to play the advantage. Ball in in the air, and Kenny Black gets climbed all over by Robbie Mustoe, and Pompey get a free kick. Down the left-hand side, that was aimed at Baird and cleaned up and put back to Gosney. Guy Butters now. Pompey hanging around, and Bernie Slavin getting his touch of the ball in the middle. And could have been some damage there. Well, I think Pompey will learn a lesson from that. Guy Butters in particular, across the back line at Andy Orford and Guy Butters. If they muck about with it, it won't take long before John Hendry and co get forward and deny them of the ball. I don't think they'll make that mistake again. Short goal kick. Can do what they wanted. John Beresford again, waiting to get possession. Meanwhile, Butters slipping and sliding. Now Beresford slipping and sliding, and John Hendry unable to get his cross in. Steve Wigley now puts the ball outside to Beresford. Keeps his footing this time. Good long one forward. Whittingham's there. Mowbray tries to clear it, can't. And finally, the ball into touch. And the throw going Pompey's way. John Beresford will take that. Beresford with the returns, got Wigley on the inside, doesn't need him, goes forward down to the line, gets the cross in, and Colin Clark hammering in against the near post, but Steve Pears safe again, there at the right time, right place. Cooper now, the ball forward, headed nicely by Baird. But Pompey getting the benefit of it. Martin Cool, still Martin Cool, gets it out to the far side, gets it back. Martin Cool with a long cross up into the area. Clark is there. Clark can't get to it, but it can't be defended. Wigley's there, has a crack at the shot. Cannons off of Mowbray. Now Clark coming forward, the ball into touch, and a Pompey throw. Guy Butters across the back line to Andy Orford. Orford, not a very good pass. Now Kenny Black. Good one up into the centre, but not quite right for Clark, and not able to get that. It was Gary Stevens. Slavin, a little ball forward. Pretty decent little ball forward that was for Paul Kerr. And again, play switching very, very quickly. As I said earlier, when Middlesbrough break away, they tend to break away very, very quickly. Now Martin Cool down the far side. He's got some power, he's going to do it all on his own as he puts the ball in for Whittingham, but it's knocked out again. Now Pompey can't really afford to let this happen. When the ball comes back like that and you get Cooper and the likes of him carrying it that far and off the back that time, off the back of Andy Orford, a dreadful ricochet, hits the post, and Gosney didn't know quite where that was coming. A very, very Fortunate, a wicked ricochet that. Bad deflection. The result of it was a corner, and Paul Kerr will take that over the far side. Well, poor Andy Gosney didn't know whether that was coming for him or not. In the end, it almost did. Punched out by Gosney. Pompey still not clear. They are now. Now, a long one for Steve Wigley to run for. He's on his own though. Got to get through Phillips. Can do that, gets the ball across the far side, but much too long. And goes over for a Middlesbrough throw. I think maybe Steve Wigley panicked then, took it down to the line, and perhaps could have held up just a little bit longer and maybe taken on Phillips. Maybe he didn't fancy the idea, I don't know. Now Butters getting control of the ball and getting it low enough for Wigley to take it out to the far side. Phillips with the throw for Borough. Touch forward to Wigley. Wigley putting the ball up for Clark, but enough red shirts there to keep him out of that. Pompey regular captain at number 2 normally Warren Neal plays, and of course he's not on the pitch either on this particular match. Danger now as John Hendry takes control of things. The ball though makes its way across to Robbie Mustoe. He switches it to the far side. Comes forward again for Mustoe. Down by the corner and back for Phillips. Middlesbrough throw. Oh, chipped in, and an opportunity goes begging there. "24 minutes gone, just over halfway through this first half, and some heart-stopping moments. 2 in particular at Andy Gosney's goal, so Pompey going to have to work hard to keep the Borough out of the way. John Hendry denied of the ball, and Pompey get it away. Stevens now, and Gale forward to Wigley. Good bit of play by Stevens. Wigley running for that, and Middlesbrough winning the throw, which comes in quickly, and Steve Pears calms things down. And again, the Borough put pressure on Pompey, and it's from this side. John Hendry, good one, good cross in, headed out, not going to get out far enough, and Gosney takes hold of that one as Tony Mowbray comes well up forward. Borough back line not shy about coming forward. Now Beresford not risking the turn, keeping his footing, putting it back to Guy Butters. He puts the pass up forward, and the free kick given away, that challenge. Now Whittingham, can he get free with this? He does, takes it up the centre, knocks it forward for Wigley. What can Wigley do? Lose the ball is the answer, and I don't know how he stepped over that. I think panic again set in. This time too far forward for John Hendry to do much about it. Well, a good forward move by Pompey there, but at the end of the day, not capitalised on. Steve Wigley either had to blast it first time or hold it up. He did neither. Ball into touch on the far side. On the halfway line, or almost. Oof. Clark this time. Out to the far side. Now Wigley and Whittingham going forward. Wigley goes down. Whittingham! And twice Steve Pears is man enough. And Whittingham goes forward in the hope of getting a third touch at it, and I don't think he's going to get that much. It isn't quite his lucky day yet. No, Pompey trying to make that one count and almost did. Ball into touch, Portsmouth throw. Well, I have to say that Portsmouth prized open the Borough defence then with Whittingham and Wigley forward together. Corner given away. Sean Gale electing that the safest thing to do was to postpone things just slightly and belt the ball up into the Milton Terrace with the Borough supporters cheering on their side. Paul Kerr then with the corner. Long corner, headed back in. Well, what a decent old shot that was. The header came back in and it was an ideal opportunity. Gosney was stranded one side of the goal. He'd have had to work to get hold of that. And an excellent bit of attack from a corner by Borough. Obviously, the longer ones are what they need to go for. Ian Baird would have been quite proud of that, I think. Gosney then with a long one forward. Headed forward, not down yet, not under control yet. Might be now though. Musto controlling things, getting it down to earth. And again the attack comes across to the right hand side. Cooper, and again Hendry. Hendry and Cooper. And Hendry getting the benefit of this. Good cross in, and what a glorious header. Put the flag up. You won't see it done much better than that. I should think they'd be a bit uptight that they were denied that. Robbie Musto in fine form. Come on then, Jeff Hill. Good one, yeah?
Yeah, at the moment the Borough, I think, are well on top. Both lots of players are struggling hard with the pitch. They find the pitch very, very slippy on top.
Yeah, it's like a bar of soap, the ball moving around. The players skidding. They're being a bit more careful about their footing. Well, that was an excellent bit of work by Borough, but denied by the offside flag. So linesman's in a better place than me to see, so we take his verdict. It's his job anyway, not mine. Right, long ball forward now, trying to set the Pompey front line on the run, and a dangerous header there lands for Guy Whittingham, but he finally isn't able to do quite what he wants to do about it. And notice the number of red shirts that pile round him as soon as he gets forward anywhere near the edge of that D. Good little ball through the middle to Colin Clark. Colin Clark, no doubt about that, he's right in front of me. He looked like he was a trip to me, but referee is the boss. Probably the grass. Musto, that's a good layoff. Paul Kerr going for a run down the far side and not quite coming off. Kenny Black now, can he keep possession? He can't. Whittingham tries to get it, he can't get it, and the ball put back by John Walk for Phillips. So Jimmy Phillips able to control things, feeds it through again down the right, gets the return from Paul Kerr. Now finally decides not to go that route, and back to Pears. Long ball forward, too long for Pompey. Well, so far the danger for Middlesbrough has come from Guy Whittingham and Steve Wigley when they've managed to work together. Ball going into touch there, and at the other end it seems that most of the attack has been via Hendry with some help from Cooper and Phillips managing to get the ball across to Cooper. He then gets it forward to Hendry, and Hendry's able to get the crosses in. So this time the ball into touch for a Portsmouth throw. Kenny Black getting things together, and back to Gosney. Pompey with the ball bouncing around up near their area, and that's danger all the time. There he goes, Hendry trying to get the turn on Beresford. Can Beresford keep his footing? Yeah, he does. Puts it forward. It's not clear yet. Colin Cooper with the throw. Now Guy Whittingham looking for Steve Wigley, rolls through to Jimmy Phillips. Phillips back to Slaven. Slaven putting the ball to John Walk, looking for it possibly to come forward. He went dashing off towards Gosney's goal, but the ball eventually went back to Steve Pears. And the linesman flags for offside. Free kick to Portsmouth. Andy Orford then. Headed on by Beresford for Whittingham. Whittingham to Black. Comes back to Beresford. Wigley with a good little chip into the inside. Whittingham couldn't get it. Clark couldn't get it. And again, Paul Kerr working well on that far side, but denied. Martin Cool now. Puts the ball in place for Kenny Black, and Kenny Black seems to shy away from that. Slaven now gets free. Always the danger. Good little pass out to the left. Slaven running up the centre. Now can Phillips get this cross in? Got Slaven run in front of goal if he can. Here it comes, headed out. Offside that time. I think Bernie Slaven about 3 yards too far forward. I think Musto and Ian Baird had got themselves together there, knowing that they had Bernie Slaven standing more or less on the penalty spot. That could have posed a greater danger than it did. Long one forward, out to the right. And again, switched well by the Borough, and here comes the combination again of Cooper down to Hendry. And I think Pompey have learnt that they have to snuff that out. Guy boots it into touch, but it's Cooper and Hendry again. Cooper with the throw. Hendry waiting, not needed. Slaven to Musto. Musto trying to poke it forward a little bit. Phillips now. Fair, says the referee, as Gary Stevens gains possession for Pompey. And a long ball forward from Sean Gale, setting Wigley running, but the ball again just a little bit too far forward, and Tony Mowbray picks that up nicely and snuffs out the danger. Kenny Black, a bit of luck there, getting it across his forehead, able to lay it down to Whittingham, and Whittingham ends up in the splits on the pitch. Not the most balletic pose I've seen Guy Whittingham in. So it must be very slippy there for him to be sliding around. Now Hendry set on the run again, and gaining the advantage because Beresford could only put it out for a throw. Cooper then. Slaven back, allowing him to get the cross in. Oh, and well, that's I don't see it done much better than that. The header didn't go in. Gosney somehow got a goal, but Slaven was there on the left-hand side, as he so often is. And when the ball came back loose, if there was any chance of it staying in play, it was going to go in. So action from the Borough, and they go 1 goal ahead in the 40th minute. Jeff Hill, goodie, yeah.
Very good goal, very well taken, yeah. Good cross, a good save by Gosney to start with. But as you said, Slaven's always in the right place.
And the ball came out as Gosney handed it off his, just off the underside of the bar. And Bernie Slaven was running in there, he was always there, he's always up front. And anything that comes loose is always a danger. So Pompey a goal down after 40 minutes, thanks to Bernie Slaven. On the slip there in the Borough defence. Tony Mowbray again saves the day by booting the ball out of play. Now Martin Cool feeds a little one forward. Clark can't get the turn on it. And again, the ball hammered away into touch. Steve Wigley now. It's a good one, goes in, and Clark pushed off of that, he feels. Referee was right there though, and he doesn't feel that was the case. And some shoving between John Beresford and John Hendry. A free kick. Mark Chamberlain warming up for Portsmouth along the track just a minute ago, so perhaps there'll be a half-time substitution for Pompey. Mowbray with the free kick, nodded down, still loose, clear now though, and a good little run through from Guy Whittingham, but Wigley sliding on the far side, the ball not reaching, and Pompey having to do it all again. Kenny Black could have got the cross in there, the referee was in the way though, so. Beresford trying again to keep the bar off the ball, and the ball fed in beautifully by John Hendry. Bernie Slaven dashing for it, and again the only response that Pompey could really make was to put the ball into touch. Now, Colin Cooper with a throw. Ian Baird trying to get the turn on it, doesn't, gets it back to Cooper, but Cooper on the line does more damage really, pushes it over for a Pompey throw. Beresford to Black. Black manages to hook it forward, and a long one. Guy Whittingham chests that, manages to get the boot and the cross in over to the far side. Sean Gale, he gets the cross in, and again, well read by Steve Pears. Hasn't he read those well from that side? Up go the hands, and he just plucks it out of the air with no cares in the world, as if it was a practice match. Beresford getting to that. Middlesbrough throw. All throw along the line, and Slaven has it in the middle, switches it across. Good little ball from Kerr. Phillips. Kenny Black now. Slides that sideways for John Beresford, and as he does, the referee blows the whistle for half-time. While Pompey, a goal to nil down, 40th minute. Bernie Slaven, the danger man again. And my pal, Jeff Hill alongside, he's got a smile on his face. The Middlesbrough supporters are happy so far. What's been the problem then with Pompey?
Well, I don't know what Pompey's problem's been. I think it's been a pretty even game really, John. It's just that the Borough took the chances. The chance they had, they took it. They were lucky with the header, though it was offside. Pompey have had a couple of near things, but just haven't got it in the net.
Well, it's fair to say though that goal was beautifully taken by Bernie Slaven, and it was off one of those balls that's just rebounds into nowhere, and he happened to be there.
As normal, that's why he's got about 9 or 10 goals already this season. He's Borough's top goal scorer for the last 2 or 3 seasons, so you know he's proven his worth again.
Okay, well, a good first half, Jeff, and we'll look forward to another 45 minutes of the same or similar. Where's my biro? Those things don't write properly. Well, the action starts in the second half here at Fratton Park with Middlesbrough. That one goal up, scored in the 40th minute by Bernie Slaven. Middlesbrough kick up, and the ball back to Cooper, who immediately puts a long one forward, but into touch on the far side. Guy Whittingham getting the turn on that, inside to Black. Black trying to switch left. Martin Cool trying to get to it too, but swept up by Middlesbrough. Sean Gale nipping that off quite nicely, because if Ian Baird had got hold of that, it could have been dangerous. Long ball forward, and from Sean Gale this time, finds Wigley. Wigley on the line, but the ball went just over, says the linesman. And Borough getting that away. Gary Stevens was there, but so was Paul Kerr. Paul Kerr all the way up on his own, and well, not a very good clearance from Pompey, coming straight to Mustoe, and Kerr is still around there. Wigley now. Now, Wigley keeps it in on the line, but it's put into touch by Mustoe. The throw in back to Stevens. Colin Clark on the centre circle, but not a very good pass left, but eventually Beresford gets to that, manages it to get it back to Clark. Clark across to Cool. Cool switching it this time to Murray, and Murray forward to Wigley. Now Wigley gets the cross in, over to the far side, but the corner is gained for Pompey as John Beresford gets himself forward enough, but can't get up to it against the defensive prowess of the Borough, with Cooper coming in. So the corner now for Pompey. Cross to the far side and away for a goal kick. The wind taking care of that one, I think. He was hoping to try and bend that one a little bit, but the wind slightly too powerful, and the cross a little bit high. Control football from Kerr, but Stevens equal to that. Gets the ball back for Pompey, and Steve Wigley. Steve Wigley, a good one inside to Gary Stevens, and Gary Stevens across to Kenny Black. Now, Kenny Black denied by Cooper. Having a good game, Colin Cooper. So's his opposite number, Jimmy Phillips, too. Now a little touch over to Cooper at the far side. Ball forward for the chase. John Hendry down by the corner flag. It's clear, can't get the cross in. Back to Cooper. Cooper now forward, and good attempt to head it on. Goal kick. I have to say that Cooper and Hendry in the first half work magnificently together, and if they keep that up in this half, then the opportunities will be there for the Borough. It's up to Steve Wigley and Sean Gale to work the same wonders for Pompey down this Pompey right side. On ball, free kick. John Walk to take this. No, he walks away from it. Leaves it to Tony Mowbray. Mowbray. Good one up, got down by Kerr. Slaven. Back to Phillips. Phillips losing possession, but Kerr was behind him. So a play switch to the far side. And looking for Cooper. Cooper and Guy Whittingham both going for the ball there. Now Martin Cool. Stevens and Cool. Now Cool puts a good little through ball to Steve Wigley, who manages to hold things up and keep hold of it for Portsmouth. Now Whittingham back to Cool. Cool puts another one through for Steve Wigley to chase. And he's kept away from it. And the ball runs on for a goal kick. Phillips there keeping Steve Wigley from getting possession of that ball. Good marking, good covering. Stevens again. Through looking for Clark. Stevens again. Forward, but losing possession. Cleaning up by Pompey on that occasion. Now Steve Wigley can get the ball through the centre. Miss, kicks it, slides as he does so. And Colin Cooper able to get it away again. But Pompey getting another chance. Pompey putting a little bit more into this half. And the ball staying in the Middlesbrough half for quite a long time. Offside flag up over the far side. Ian Baird, I think, was off. Either Ian Baird or Bernie Slaven. One of them was. I think it was Baird. Now Martin Cool trying to get things away, but getting himself in a bit of a slide along with John Walk, and a free kick now. Headed down well, Walk not getting any aim to that, and over for a goal kick. Put down well by Ian Baird for John Walk to get a foot to, but I think he miskicked that. Either that or the ball was spinning about a bit, and the best that could be done was to get it over the line. Goal kick forward by Gosney. Whittingham looking for it to run loose. It does, but it runs further forward than he wanted to Cooper. Cooper tries to boot it up the line, and it goes into touch. So Portsmouth throw almost on the halfway line. Shipped forward. Steve Wigley. Run out of that one. Bernie Slaven over to the far side. No one collecting it, and into touch it goes. Free kick for Pompey. Well, Portsmouth playing with a little bit more urgency in the second half. Tony Mowbray again getting his head to that. Anything to get it out. And Steve Pears that time coming in to grab the ball. Boney Slaven on the run through there, and Gosney coming out to meet him. Now the ball comes left to Stevens. Sean Gale. Chip through to Clark. Clark gets the turn to Whittingham. Whittingham across to Sean Gale. And a good attempt by the young lad. A very good attempt, and warm applause from the crowd. He played that well, and he moved very, very quickly forward. Wearing the number 2 shirt, that normally worn by Warren Neal. Sean Murray is on the touchline. I think a substitution due for Pompey. And Sean Gale and Andy Orford between them, getting the ball back to their keeper. Now Stevens. Whittingham got to where he wanted to with it, but Mowbray back to the keeper. Portsmouth again getting the benefit of that, and Stevens checking, looking to go through again to Sean Gale. Does so, misses Sean Gale, and the ball goes into touch. Kenny Black comes off to make way for Sean Murray. Well, 13 minutes in, and Sean Murray comes on in place of Kenny Black. A little chip in, but Pompey unable to keep possession in front of that box. Whittingham doing everything he can to get the ball up there. Now this time in comes the cross, and rebounds off of Colin Cooper. John Hendry clearing things up over that far side. And again, Pompey keeping the ball in the Middlesbrough half. Whittingham, little chip outside. Wigley getting boxed out of that one. Getting the corner. Wigley being run into a little cul-de-sac there of 2 red shirts, but gaining the corner out of it. And Martin Cool goes over to take it now. Hooks it round, bit short. Sean Murray bouncing about, but got clear, not far enough. Ball back in, Butters this time, high in the air and punched out by Pears. Seems to get higher than anyone else and gets his fist to it. make a good boxer with Steve Pearce. Now Mowbray on the ball. Across to Cooper on the right, trying to move forward again, but Pompey pressure this second half, determined to try and keep the play in the Middlesbrough half. They haven't had the finishing yet. Slaven, Murray gets the ball, round Slaven, back to Gosney. Bernie Slaven always hanging around there, looking for the odd crumb that might drop from the table. Whittingham, good at that, chests it down and gets control of the ball. Pretty good at that. Good cross, in it comes, into the middle, but no one there. Martin Cool, had he been there, he's pretty good at those long shots, but he wasn't there. And the ball over for a goal kick. Long goal kick, the wind holding that up a bit. And finding the ball into touch over the far side. That was a good forward ball, but running too far for Steve Wigley or Guy Whittingham to get, and it comes out to the left-hand side. Long one forward, no aim behind it from Phillips. Stevens gets the benefit of it. Across to Butters. Sean Murray and Guy Butters, the 1-2 between them. John Walk now looking to go down the middle. Help there from Paul Kerr. And out to Ian Baird. Ian Baird now needs taken on. Wow, when you bend them round like that, Stevens hesitated, didn't take him on. Baird went in there, and when the goal came, it curved beautifully round the corner. Gosney's eyes followed it round. Jeff, that was a corker.
That was a beautiful goal from Baird. He was just getting a lot of stick from the Pompey supporters at the left-hand side, and he certainly shut him up straight away then. Lovely goal.
I thought that was going to go past the post. I had a feeling that Gosney thought it was too.
Yeah, it certainly bent. He bent it right in, went just inside the far post.
Well, there you are. Ian Baird scoring the second for Middlesbrough. 17 and a half minutes gone in this half. Well, he's not going to get the opportunity that time. He was chased off it. Flag up as Sean Gale runs a little bit too far forward. Looks at the linesman, then looks around him and realises that he was indeed miles offside. John Hendry winning the throw. Cooper dashes down to give him a bit of support. And Cooper ends up taking the throw. Sean Murray, good little layoff, waits in the middle, gets the return. Does his job again. And play switches. Half of Stevens. Andy Orford up the middle for Whittingham. and Whittingham stops the ball, which is coming through at quite a lick, but loses it in the process. And finally back to the Borough keeper, Steve Pears. Cooper, good long ball down the right-hand side. A little bit long for Slaven to get to. Kerr coming racing in, not going to get it. Pass to Clark. Clark losing out with John Walk. And the whistle goes as Stevens and Bernie Slaven go over together. And another substitution for Pompey as Guy Butters is brought off. Guy Butters going off, Mark Chamberlain coming on. A little bit of speed required up front, possibly by Frank Burrows. Now Phillips going forward. Portsmouth getting it away. Now can Wigley reach this? He does, keeps it in. And, well, a bit of a slip. Kernaghan making the slip, allowing Clark to go through. Can he get a one-on-one? Dithers about with it, hangs about with it, and changes it foot to foot. And Paul Kerr comes along and says, thank you very much, and puts it back to his keeper. Classic case of a forward knowing what he would do in that situation and going forward and pinching the ball. Clark turning there, hoping Whittingham was behind him, hoping the ball would go on through. Well, Colin Clark, I think, will possibly regret that, because he allowed Paul Kerr to make a lot of headway up behind him and take it off his foot when he was on a one-on-one chance. And the ball running loose that time. Nothing Alan Kernaghan could do to get to that, but Whittingham didn't have the time to get his aim on it. Over it goes for a goal kick. Kicking out that time now, Chamberlain setting the crowd alight. He's got through, a little bit of dithering around to get the ball into the centre and wins the corner. That was what was needed, perhaps. Chamberlain quite clever at dancing over the ball. Short corner, whipped in and belted out again, but John Beresford turning it across to Steve Wigley. Now Portsmouth putting on the pressure again. Good cross, headed down and well saved. Sean Murray that was coming up in there, heading that down, but again Steve Pears where he should have been and caught that on the edge of the line. Got down to it. Steve Pears, one of these keepers that's very, very quick at getting down to the ground level. Equally as quick as he can get high. Phillips and Kerr this time, engineering this one down the left. And a good run in by Ian Baird, but not going to make that one stick. Andy Orford able to get across to him. Now the ball running loose for Colin Clark. Colin Clark gets it across to the centre of the area, takes a stab at it, forced off it, and the ball over the byline for a goal kick. Well, two pretty decent chances there for Colin Clark. I've gone begging in the last 4 or so minutes. Fans in the North Stand not liking that decision. But they wouldn't, would they, is what I would say. Free kick, far too long, and over the line for a goal kick. Ian Baird was never going to get to that, and neither was Bernie Slavin. Bernie, I think, was waiting for that to be chipped in by Baird, but the free kick miles too long. The aim was right. And Borough again clean it up. Chamberlain turns the ball into the middle. Clark not making that, and again John Walk getting his opportunity to just quieten things down in the middle. Well, the ground obviously a little bit slippery and a little bit heavy in places. And that's going to tell. You can tell the fresh pairs of legs on this pitch at the moment. Sean Murray doing his share of running, but hasn't been enough so far. Middlesbrough still in the lead, 2-0. Pompey's throw. The 2 goals that Middlesbrough have scored, I mean, Pompey certainly can't say they were lucky goals. They were beautifully engineered and beautifully taken. Wow, there's a bit of talent for you. Guy Whittingham snuffs that out and in the process gains himself possession, but Pompey trying to move too quickly, one feels, and the ball skids off into touch on the far side. Tony Mowbray looking to pass the ball back, but sees Colin Clark dashing forward, so was not about to make that mistake. Again, the referee doing his best to be unpopular in the North Stand, but the decision was right. Laid back neatly for Phillips. Phillips forward through the middle, got it just a little bit wrong. Chamberlain now, can Chamberlain get away? Belts forward, waits for the through ball. Clark gets it, goes outside to Whittingham. And Sean Murray moving forward, but Pompey not there to press it home. Outside to the left, and again Paul Kerr putting it down for Ian Baird, and from the halfway line he manages to get it round back to his keeper. And again Middlesbrough are able to clear that up all the way from the halfway line. Long ball forward, and Ian Baird running down the right. Laid back. And into the net. Well, it was Robbie Mustoe got the first crack at that. Robbie Mustoe got the first crack at that, but it came back. Well, 15 minutes left in this game, and Pompey have got it all to do. They've got 3 goals against them, and Frank Burrows spurring the team on. But you can't argue with the fact that Middlesbrough have played real attacking stuff, and when they've broken free they've made sure the ball goes where it's supposed to go. Pompey have had some good attack, and the finishing hasn't quite been there. The second half, the ball certainly spent more time in the Middlesbrough half than anywhere else, but it's the scoring that matters. Now can Chamberlain start something going over that far side? Here he comes through the centre. Has a crack at it, boots it a little bit high and hard, the wind gets underneath it, and over the top it goes for a goal kick. More in desperation, I think, that one. It's always worth a shot, though, if you've got the wind behind you, as Pompey have at the moment, to have a poke at those. Here's another man who's good on a long shot too. Martin Cool puts it outside of John Beresford. John Beresford now going through, gets it to Steve Wigley. Well, this looks a bit more structured. Back to Beresford. Beresford outside to Sean Gale, and then to Steve Wigley. Steve Wigley back to Beresford. Works his way up left, chips the ball forward, waiting for Wigley to come round and get it, but he doesn't. And the ball kicked into touch by Gary Stevens. And 2 substitutions now by Middlesbrough. And the 2 players coming off are Mustoe and Hendry. Now again, Bernie Slaven on the ball. Chips it over to the left. Got all the time in the world. They're 3 ahead. Good cross coming in and headed out well. But the ball falling favourably again for Ian Baird. Gets the turn on it, but is taken off it this time. And shown some tricks by Portsmouth. Excellent little performance by Martin Cool there. Now Wigley. Martin Cool tries to lay one across the far side, but it's chopped out by Bernie Slaven in the middle. And equally well, Chamberlain chops it from Slaven. Baird puts it across to Cooper. Cooper forward to Ripley. And back to Mowbray. Kernaghan walk, and Kernaghan back to the keeper, running towards the keeper. Chased by Guy Whittingham. He's not going to let him relax, even in the last 10 minutes of this game. Stevens, a long ball forward for Whittingham. Whittingham gets his head to it, and into touch it goes, so it's a throw into Middlesbrough. Unable to chest that one down in his usual style. And Stevens looks like he's had a bit of a knock in the face, because while we wait for this throw to be taken, Neil Sillett is out on the pitch looking at Gary Stevens. He's got himself a bit of a bump there. Hope he doesn't end up with a black eye. Yep, he's okay. Now, Stevens again, keeps the possession, twice goes in, that time tackled unfairly by John Walk, and gains Pompey a free kick, which Sean Gale will take. Switched right over to the far side, Chamberlain manages to get it down, and in comes the ball, but miles wide. Clark can't get to it. It's tipped over for a corner, which John Beresford is coming down to take. Long one. Perhaps a little bit too long, but Chamberlain manages to retrieve it. Tries to hook it back in, but Tony Mowbray hooks it out again for the Borough. Into touch. Up by the halfway line, Portsmouth's throw. Stevens driving his team forward again from the back. And the ball easily stolen. And this time Slaven wins that one on Stevens. So Slaven, he has Paul Kerr to his left if he wants him. Doesn't need him. Going to take it all down to the line himself. Turn round and put the cross in if he can. Can't, puts the ball back. Phillips does the honours. John Walk now comes forward. Tees that one up, decides not to do it. Now the sub, Proctor. Well, Proctor back to Cooper. Cooper lobs it into the area. Martin Cool tries to get a boot to it and misses it. So Middlesbrough still with possession. John Walk forced to give away the ball, but it falls for Clark, and he doesn't really control it as he wants. Finally, the ball from Sean Gale reaches Steve Wigley, and Wigley is run off the ball quite competently by Paul Kerr. Gosney taps it out to Stevens to start all over again, and across to Andy Orford. Throw in. Can't stop the ball going into touch. And into touch the ball goes again as Stuart Ripley, came on not many minutes ago for Middlesbrough, skids and can't retain possession of that ball down the corner. But Middlesbrough still working their way through. John Walk. Back to Mowbray. Mowbray now. Long ball forward. It's being chased down the far side. A little bit too long though. Gosney's goal kick. Well, 5 minutes plus a little bit of time added on, I would think, but not much left in this match, and Pompey on a 3-goal deficit. Jimmy Phillips playing with Pompey now a little bit. Dash forward by Kernaghan, and the ball fed through for Slaven, who was not going to get a touch to that. Now Martin Cool coming up the middle, feeds it across for Wigley. Wigley lets it go for Sean Gale, and Kernaghan pushes it into touch. Gale with the throw to Wigley. Wigley settles it on the ground, turns it round, gets the cross in to no one in particular. Right across the park into touch on the far side. Borough's throw then, Colin Cooper. Long down the line, and Beresford doesn't get to that. Will he get to it this time though? Forces Stuart Ripley to run the ball over the line. Sean Murray feeds it forward. That was a good one, fed through, and again, but the offside flag up. I think it was Paul Kerr who ran too far forward. Bernie Slaven was waiting to retrieve the ball, and the linesman spotted that Kerr had gone through. Stevens now to Clark. Clark gives that away to Cooper. And back to Pears. Clark out to Chamberlain. Chamberlain to Sean Murray. Now Sean Murray tries to feed a long one through again, but Tony Mowbray cuts it out before it reaches Colin Clark. Slaven on his own again, more or less. Turns, now he's got a bit of defence, and well pushed down to earth and then retrieved by Gosney, taking the sting out of that one. When that man Slaven breaks clear, he can be very difficult to stop. But all credit to Gosney for that. Free kick taken quickly for Portsmouth by Whittingham, the man bowled over. And a little chip, he turns his head, can't get the angle on that. And Chamberlain and Whittingham bumping into each other in a frantic effort to get near that goal and pop one away. Corner, Steve Wigley to take it for Portsmouth. Short one over to the head of Mark Chamberlain, and guided with the eyes by Steve Pearce. Tony Mowbray being chased by Guy Whittingham, but just gets the ball back to his keeper. Referee looking at his watch, and 45 minutes is on my watch, so a little bit of stoppage time added on. Can Pompey get themselves a consolation goal? Sean Murray feeding it forward, but again no one there to receive it save for Colin Cooper. And the Borough go looking for another one. Good switch of the ball across to Paul Kerr. He puts it inside to Baird. Baird forward. Referee again looks at his watch as Gosney goes for the drop kick. And there goes the whistle as Pompey go down 3-0 to a very strong Middlesbrough side. Go on, Jeff Hill, mates we are, but we're mates again now. We've been rivals for 90 minutes, but Middlesbrough had the best of it, didn't they?
Yeah, they played very well, I think. 3 very good goals. Portsmouth only worried up a couple of times. I thought the back four of Middlesbrough played very well, especially the 2 central defenders, Kernigan and Mowbray. Not being biased, they're a very good result.
Not much. A sad result though for Pompey. Thanks to Jeff Hill for joining us today. And a bad result for Pompey, but good one for Middlesbrough. 3-0, and Pompey will have to start rethinking their strategy.